Hey friends, Coach Casey here, and I want to talk to you about two things that you do not want to hear while you're running. And I'm out here at the beginning of where I go for my runs every day, and so there's gonna be cars going by. But the two things you don't want to hear when you're running, one's physical and one's mental. Let me talk about the physical one first. The physical one first is it's kind of a scuffing noise that you will sometimes hear when you are running. And let me tell you how you'll know if you make this noise. You can look at the bottom of your shoes. So this is the bottom of my shoes, my left foot, my right foot, and you can see by the wear pattern here on the bottom of my shoe that I will tend to scuff my left foot. And why that is a big deal is because these are actually the shoes that I use during recovery runs. So my legs are usually tired when I'm wearing these shoes. So what this is telling me is that when I get tired, my left leg starts to scuff. And you think, well, geez, you gotta make your left leg stronger. Actually, the scuffing is happening because I'm dragging, I'm hitting the ground, I'm dragging with my left foot, which means my right leg is not lifting. And with my right leg, so when you're right, in my case, when my right leg doesn't lift, my left leg will come down and scuff. So when you're running, if you're on a treadmill, whatever, this is the sound you don't want to hear. You can imagine that, you know, with this left shoe that I just showed you, that every time I'm running and I'm tired, you know, this is my recovery shoe, so I'm tired when I'm using these shoes, that my left foot will always tend to be the one that lags behind. To correct this, there's a couple things you can do. I always like to think when I'm running, I'm thinking from my head to my foot. So it's not just, oh, I gotta land better with my foot, but I gotta think with my whole body. So your running posture starts at the top of your head. So I'll kind of do a restart on my whole body. And so up here, I'll kind of reset my shoulders, make sure that I'm not using my iPhone posture, which means I'm not like this, but I'm gonna actually flex my arms back and kind of try to bring my, as I'm running, I'm gonna try to bring my my shoulder blades together, and it kind of just opens up your chest cavity, opens up your lungs as you're running. And now I'm running a little bit taller. And then the next thing I'm also making sure of is that I'm not standing up or leaning backwards, because when you lean forward a little bit, it's virtually impossible to do this motion without feeling awkward. So this motion here, this scuffing, is easy to have happen when you're doing this. And if you go watch, especially towards the tail end of just about any race, or to be frank, if you go to the tail end, or if you go watch a race and you listen for the runners, it's actually a quieter race at the beginning, and then it becomes a louder race towards the end. And it's because oftentimes when we get slower, we start to make that noise. That's the noise you don't want to hear. So I've started here at the top of my shoulders. I've put, and now I've seen my posture, my leaning forward, and my standing up. And then the next thing that I'm also going to check is what are my knees doing? And I know that this is the big one for me, is that when my left leg starts to do, my left foot starts to do that, it's because my right glute has turned off. My right glute has gotten tired. And so I'll start to think about, I need to lift this right leg so that now my left foot will feel like it can bounce. I can get back into this motion, okay? Whereas if I'm dragging my right leg, the left leg will also start to scuff as well. Anyway, so that's one thing you don't want to hear as you're running. You don't want to hear that scuffing action occur. Here, I'll put my glasses up because I have a heart-to-heart about the second thing that you don't want to hear. And you don't want to hear a negative attitude while you're running. We all talk to ourselves while we run. I know I do anyway. Maybe I'm not the only crazy one here. Maybe you also talk to yourself. And so how should you be talking to yourself? Well, what you don't want to hear is the negative comments of, I can't do this, I'm so crazy, why am I out here, this is so hot, and kind of just get into this negative, thought cycle, negative thought pattern. And something that I have noticed that has helped me kind of trigger out, or kind of get out of that negative thought spiral, is actually doing something that I picked up from a book called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Maybe you've seen her TED Talk. But what she talks about is when you start catching yourself get into kind of a negative thought cycle or doing something that is habitually negative, you can count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then give yourself a prompt of something else to think about. So it kind of gets me out of thinking like, oh, I'm in so much pain. What am I doing out here? I'm so bad at long distance running, and kind of just really just beating yourself up. And instead, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, have fun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish. You're almost here. You're almost done. This is a great workout today. And instead, talk to yourself like you would a friend you're running with. There's stuff that I say to myself when I run that I would never say to someone that I care about, or even just someone that I am an acquaintance of. I would never talk to someone the way that I find myself talking to myself while I run. So I would encourage you to think along those same lines. Would I say this to my running partner if they were having the same doubts that they are having? I'd probably be talking a lot more kindly to them than I do myself. So kind of 2 things to kind of keep in mind of what you don't want to hear your mind saying to yourself, because again, guys, if your mind is beaten, your body does not have a chance. And this is where these 2 things connect. Remember I was talking about the shoulders and the posture? I would say that it is virtually impossible to run like this if you're feeling good about yourself. That if you start getting slouched over, you start kind of going inward, you're looking down at the ground, and you're beating yourself up. However, if you kind of stand up nice and tall, proud, you're feeling good about running today, feeling good about your workout, you're much more likely to open up the chest cavity, kind of run tall and proud and happy versus doing this and beating yourself up. So happy running, enjoy this weather, enjoy the summertime. Remember, in a few months, it is gonna be snowing. So have a good time today, and we'll talk to you later.